Good evening, everyone. Welcome to my Spring Equinox Sound Healing Yoga Workshop here at Hatha Yoga Ohana Online. I will absolutely admit that this is my first virtual workshop, and I am so honored to have you here in my living room. As if you take a moment to reflect on my journey as a yoga teacher, we have a lot of props to carry every single day to yoga. We have our yoga mats, lots of towels because I teach hot yoga. And when I teach workshops, I have a rain stick, 5 bowls, an altar, and look, I am not complaining. I am showing you a window of new gratitude that I didn't even think I would have, because I do not have to lug all of these things to and from the yoga studio so that I can share space with you today. So welcome to practice. Welcome to my home. My name is Kelly. I'm going to be guiding us on this journey today. And before I get started on anything about this evening, I would like to make sure that you are in a comfortable position. When you are ready to learn and receive new information, you must set your body up for success, and today is a great day to stop, drop, and take a seat. Crisscross applesauce, or I like a kneeling position. I am sitting on top of a block today. You can also grab a cushion or a pillow, and find some time to make yourself comfortable because we will be with one another for an hour. Grab maybe a cup of water or tea. Grab maybe a few Shavasana items. I have with me an eye mask that I love to use, a lovely stocking stuffer from my mother, thank you Mom, and a scarf if you do not have the eye mask that I have here. You can use a scarf at any time to cover your eyes so that you're less distracted when you enter into a meditative state, and I find that many students love doing this. So let's take about 10 rounds of breath to get into a comfortable position. I will be sure that my camera is set up for success. Grab a cushion and I will see you on the mat. Why not grab a cuter cushion when you have one? I'm going to take a seat on this cushion. Thank you, Naomi. If you practice with Naomi in yin, this is actually her cushion. How lovely. Thank you for giving me a lovely seat to sit upon today. I would like to start class today by introducing you to how I set up space for workshops, for my personal practice, and for my meditations. And that includes building an altar. And every day I will find at least one surface in my husband and I's home to completely clear off, recalibrate, and putz, and put up arrangements of flowers or good smelling things, cards from friends and loved ones, gifts, things to do in a non-stress environment, gifts that people have given us. I'm looking at a lemon right now that a dear friend, Melanie, gave me. For example, these are great altar items. For the spring equinox, I have brought a few altar items here to share with you today. The first is incense, pretty traditional. May you find a smell that you enjoy, as I am not sharing a home with anyone this evening. It is going to smell like a yogi in here because I am lighting all the things. Before I blow this out, I have a few candles that I like to also light before I start any ritual, any practice, any ceremony, as I truly believe in smell association. This candle is gingerbread cookie, and we have been burning it for a few months. And in a couple of months, we will move on to a new candle that finds its way into our life. And that chapter of our life will change. But the smell of the candle is getting programmed into this entire experience here. So when you have a new smell, it'll start to remind you of where you're at in that chapter of your life. And we had a candle called French Toast when we were house sitting a long time ago, probably 5 or 6 years ago. And we can remember the meals that we ate, the jacuzzi that was at the house, every crazy little detail with their cat and their dog and their life because of this candle. And it's pretty cool. So your future self will thank you as you find some smells that you enjoy. Speaking of comfort, it is time to switch up positions as we've been sitting here for a few moments. Go ahead and crisscross your legs. So take your cushion out of the way and find a comfortable Sukhasana. Your hands can rest as you check that your device is located somewhere where your neck is not strained to look at it. You're not looking down. You're not slouching and looking up. Can you find a place to join this experience where you are properly aligned, and notice which leg you have favored on top of the other. As we continue our ritual experience, I have a bundle of sage here that I would like to light. And many students aren't sure what they're smelling. They'll come into the yoga studio and they'll have many preconceived notions as to what this smells like. And I'll tell you what, sage smells like a very earthy, leafy flavor that you'll often find in a metaphysical shop or like a hippy-dippy store. In this modern day and age, we have to be very careful on how we source our sage because it is a California indigenous plant. It is a southern region indigenous plant, and we need to take care of it because they are slowly becoming endangered because the hippy dippies aren't doing it right. So where am I going with this? Josh has grown this sage in our yard over the past couple of years, and every few months our dog viciously attacks the sage, right? And we have a bushel, and he has dried it, bundled it, and we've been slowly burning it to smudge or cleanse our home, especially when we feel stagnant energy during this time. It's a lovely fire ritual. I am a fire sign. I am a Sagittarian sun, if you wanted more window into my soul. And so I love doing fire type rituals before I start a meditative practice. So find something that you like. Much of that might be finding what you don't like. So find smells, try new things. I'll go ahead and set my smudge stick over to the side for now. May you choose something that works for your respiratories, as many of you like diffusers or essential oils, candles, incense. Find something that helps you ground and round into the present moment. And we're going to go ahead and switch out the legs. So switch out your crisscross applesauce and bring your hands to heart center as you lean back in your seat. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. May you feel a bit more grounded as you arrive to your practice space. May you embrace the sounds that surround you as I welcome you into my home today. My next step is to introduce you to my instruments. Another lovely portion of this virtual experience is that you get to watch me as I navigate some of the instruments throughout class today. And when you take a live workshop, yes, at any time, you can take a seat of awareness and sit up and watch the teacher, the musicians, the bowl players, the Reiki healers move about the room. But the chances are that you are going to look inward, especially if I have set you up with lovely smells, yoga practice. a shawl, a blindfold, right? And so you don't typically get to always watch what's going on. And so what I wanted to do is tell you about the instruments I'm playing first, so that later, if you're watching the bowl play or if you're listening to it after class, I give this window of opportunity for everyone to come play, touch, and feel the instruments. And so think of this as the consummation of class, where you get to realize what you're listening to, versus at the end of class you kind of reflect on those things. So new modalities of sound healing. I'll go ahead and start from this side of the room, this big mama jamma. This bowl here is for our throat chakra, our fifth chakra, Vishuddha. We will be opening our lines of communication today in this workshop. And this bowl is 18 inches in diameter. It is to the note of G. G as in ginger. Go ahead and take a listen. Take a breath in. Take an exhale. Feel that sound in your body and notice any colors, any sensations that you might feel, sense. Some yogis like to have a notebook and pen, and I am typically that student. I encourage you to take that creature comfort. If you suddenly have bouts of enlightenment, you must have a pen and a piece of paper to write it down. So put that in front of you. We carry on. This next bowl is my bowl of F note, which is your heart chakra. Anahata, your fourth chakra. This color green, so luscious for the spring equinox as we think of growth. And your heart chakra is an extension of your hands and your heart and your arms, your limbs, your length, your outreach, your community. And so we focus so much so on our heart. This is a 10-inch diameter bowl. We'll go ahead and give it a listen together. Take a breath in. Open mouth. I demo all of these bowls with a clockwise motion. I will be then going in a counterclockwise motion. A great time for me to explain to you what the word equinox means. It is a French and Latin word. Let's go with the Latin translation. Equi. Think of equal. And then nox, or not. Think of the word nautical, or night. So an equal night and day. And if you have taken a seat of awareness, which I'm sure you have in this time of being at home, the days are getting longer. We have more time to play and explore. It's not getting dark at 5 p.m. anymore. Yes, there's been a time change, but also this stretch starts to occur between our hemispheres. And the spring equinox and the fall equinox honor this point in between. And when you think of the word equinox, you can also think of finding a balance, a yin and yang, a clockwise and a counterclockwise. So I'll start clockwise today. Then I'll go through my Tibetan bowls. These are all quite special. My mom, hello mom, she always gives a gift of a Tibetan bowl to my husband each year for Yuletide. And what a special gift, because now I get to share that with all of you today. So if you've been gifted any of your instruments, think of that person, hold them in your heart. As I hold, this is the first bowl that she gifted him, I'd say 2014 or 15. Let's take an inhale. You'll breathe in. Exhale. when playing bowls, it's best to keep the bowl about 10 inches away from your head. And I think I may have held mine closer. That's Yogi's choice, right? But when you're playing for other people, about 10 inches away is safest, especially if you're practicing around pregnant mamas. Luckily, you guys are listening on your own devices, so this does not necessarily apply, but just practice safely, and the best way to do that is to practice with yourself first. See what feels good, see what doesn't, before you start playing on other Omis. Your dog will not like that one. It is so high-pitched. Good thing my dog is not here today because he does not like that bowl. This one, a bit different, a little bit tinier, holding lightly into my palm. Take a breath in. And exhale. If I'm trying to bring my Zen on the go, this is the bowl because it fits in my purse. Rather lovely. I just wrap it into a handkerchief or a tablecloth, washcloth, pop it in my purse. Really light and easy, very easy to play. I use a rubber-tipped mallet. However, some of you might have these suede-covered guys. You're welcome to use these. They work great. I just like this guy. So we move on to my last bowl that I'll play for you today. This dark Mama Jamma. Take a breath in, listen to this sound. And take an exhale. Shakers. Amazing for kids and adults alike. I have a 4-pack. I have 3 of them that I'm using today that I'll have on the altar, but if you go onto Amazon or you're actively looking to make your own shakers at home, this is a great project with a jar and some grains of rice. I like to keep all of my instruments out so that if I feel called to play them, I have them at access. They're identified on the sides. Let's see, medium, soft, loud. And when I'm practicing in a larger group, I will slip one of these into my pocket. I typically wear pocketed pants, so I have this option. This rain stick, how can we not acknowledge this beauty right here? Let's give her a listen first, and then we'll talk about how we acquired her. So, take a breath in. What a lovely sound. This is our rain stick. We love this instrument. What is so magical about this instrument is that, yes, Josh and I are avid music players and we have happily accepted any instrument into our home. When we were asked to play at the San Diego Yoga Festival in the Sacred Sound Healing Domes for 11 minutes of sound healing, yes, I said that all correctly, I was very called to give my time in service to the festival, and to invest in bowls of my own. If you practice with me at the studio, then you know that we have access to all sorts of instruments at Hapa, as Tina has provided so many great tools for us to use. But these are my own home instruments, and I had purchased this bowl in light of this upcoming festival. And the next day, Josh goes to his workplace, and in an alley, thrown about, he finds this rain stick. And I swear to you, it was raining. This was about a year ago from today. It does have a few broken bits, and we do have resin to replace it. Anyway, we will fix it up. There's really nothing wrong with it, and we will be using it today in practice. So may we find a new position. Thank you for joining me so far in this seat. You're going to go ahead and stick your legs out in front of you. Flex your toes towards you. If this hurts your low back, go ahead and bend at your knees. No worries. You're welcome to arch forward if you need a little reprieve in your back. As we keep chatting, you can look down to the floor. If you're all right sitting here with the legs nice and wide, you pick the stance, and then you'll go ahead and bring your arms overhead as we talk a little bit more about this spring solstice. A few more things to note. So, hands to heart center, hold an active shelf. We stay here. Our spring equinox. We are 9 months away from winter solstice, which is in December, right around Yuletide and Christmas. The point of this is that we plant seeds now, both in the soil, in the mind, in the community, and we slowly water these plants. They do not come world-side. They do not become born into this world for up to 9 months, which of course is the human gestational period, right? This symbolic spring equinox is an acknowledgement of the life process that we must trust, that we must nurture, take care of, and plan for the future while still actively enjoying the present moment, noticing the current changes of the day and time as you water and nurture yourself during this time of fertility. Very much so. It is time to spring clean. It is time to spring forward. It is time to set up for success. So, with an open heart and a smile, because no one can see you, right? But truly, stretch the jaw, let all of that tension go, reach for the toes. As you breathe out, we're going to take a forward fold, head down to the mat. Sit up nice and tall, take a breath in, gaze softly over the tip of the nose. As you exhale, take a forward fold. Arms sweep overhead, you'll take a breath in. Turn to the right leg, breathe out, take a fold. Arms sweep overhead, take a breath in. Switch out the legs as you exhale. One more round, breath in. Graceful, switch sides. A bit more movement, inhale. Breath out, reach for the toe. Back to center. Bring the soles of the feet together. Baddha Konasana, butterfly pose. You'll bow down to the feet as you exhale, Baddha Konasana. The same reverence and respect that you have with your palms together, you have with your feet together. So we're going to set our intention for practice right here as you think of the seeds that you want to plant, that you're ready to reap, that you love to share with one another. As you breathe out, head drops down to the floor, chin in towards the chest. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Sit up nice and tall. Bring your knees together to touch. You're gonna swivel into a tabletop pose, and I'll see you on all fours as I gently move our tools out of the way for now. Set up for success, nice wide starfish palms. Take a few rounds of cat and cow. You're gonna tuck your toes and take a seat on your heels. Try and join me this whole time with your toes tucked. I know it's a great stretch. If you need to come out, breathe out into tabletop. Now you have an exit strategy, okay? So toes tucked, take a seat on the heels. This is not only a 2-week quarantine for you, but a 2-week take off your heels and don't wear shoes for 2-week time period. And welcome to the life of a yoga teacher. I will tell you, I have transitioned from a life of working in a corporate environment. I worked for a government contractor and in office life for a very long time, and retail long before that. Lots of high heels, lots of strange shoes, lots of footwear. And my foot was not used to being barefoot, and it took a long time for my feet to get used to grounding, earthing, walking on the soil. And my feet truly did change shape, size, color, you name it, as they started to space out into yogi feet. I highly encourage, yes, toes still tucked, taking a seat here. You get to choose the intensity of how much weight. As you enjoy no shoes, let your feet breathe these next few days. A great time to round your feet into the earth too. So spring equinox, if you bring your feet into the soil. All right, untuck the toes, kick the feet. You're gonna lift your feet off the mat, but stay on your knees and swivel to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right. And from here, drop your belly, lift the heart. This is our cow pose. You'll lightly hinge forward and back. Let's take a forward fold. As graceful as you know how, tuck your toes, walk your hands and your feet towards one another, and Uttanasana, this is our ragdoll. Head down to the mat. We only stand for just a bit in our practice today. Get the blood flowing from the head to the toes before you find a meditative state. We love our yoga practice. Let's breathe together, open mouth. Halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, forward fold. Arms sweep overhead, mountain pose. Reach up. Back bend as you breathe out. Back to center. Widen the feet. We're taking a Malasana squat, and I encourage you to look both ways before you cross the street. Take a few bobs and see how low you'd like to get into your squat. This is lovely. You can stay right here. Nice low chairs. If you have access to a block or to a seat, you can take a seat on your block. Once you find your block, soles of the feet on the floor. Take your time. Hands to heart center. You're pressing your elbows into your knees. There's a scoop of your tailbone, and then the back of your neck as long as the rest of ya. Malasana squat. We must open the hips. Really deep round of chin in towards the chest. Hold with me here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Left hand down, right hand up. Take a twist. Eyes up to the sky. Exhale, hand down to the mat. Inhale to switch sides. If you needed something easier, lighter on the shoulder, hand behind the head. Full expression, hand up to the sky. Exhale, hand down to the mat. We have a few frog squats to take, and you can keep this block right here. Super helpful. I'll demo for you. Building up a bit of heat. Keep your fingertips on the floor. Start to bring the edges of your heels together. When you breathe in, we're going to straighten the legs, look behind you. As you exhale, take a seat, look forward. Mimic a frog. Can you see him on the little lily pad? Breath in, look behind you. Exhale, crouch down. Kundalinis, my Kundalini yogis. Let's take 11. Breath in, hips up. Exhale, hips down. I'm practicing with you. We're halfway through. I know you're feeling warm. Soft forehead, unclenched teeth. Try this next round with the eyes closed. Lead with the heart. This fire will reward you for our Shavasana. Last two, breathe in. Exhale for a frog. Breath in, hips up. Exhale, lower on down. Let's come on down to the mat. Take a seat. Feel the effects of those springs up and down. A balance of to and fro. As we find balance on both sits bones, close your eyes. We look inward, chin in towards the chest. Eyes will start to open. I'm so grateful to be able to show you how I truly set up for Shavasana in my own home practice. As a yoga teacher, I do teach a lot of classes each week, and I need to make sure that I set aside slivers of time for me to stop, drop, and practice. And in the past, that used to look like taking a studio class every day. But as you can imagine, being at the studio every single day, when you're off of work, you don't always want to stay to practice. You want to occupy a new space. And so we are held accountable to finding our practice at home. And I hope to set other students up for Shavasana the way that I feel in Shavasana. So it's pretty cool to show you how I get there. It is about a 5-minute process. You are worth this time. This is what I do before I teach at 6 a.m. yoga. I get into the studio early. I lay on the floor for just 5-10 minutes at that time and surrender into our Shavasana. So, what tools might you need? A blanket. If you like to wear a blanket on top of you, if you enjoy the weight of a blanket on your body, or a pillow, I would grab one. I have one right here. I'm going to place it here for my head and have it off to the side so that it's close to where my head is going to be, right? Next up, we have our eye masks. So if you're looking to cover your eyes, you need a sip of water. Take care of the face before we head on down to the floor. And the last thing I'll show you here is my little burrito I have here. This is a queen-sized quilt blanket that I have rolled up into a speed bump that I like to keep underneath my knees when I am in Shavasana. So what you'll do, if you like to take a blanket, roll it up. If you have a couch cushion that you can use, especially if there's 4 or 5 of you practicing, take apart your couch, take your cushion, bring it behind you, and this will go underneath your knees. I'm a tall girl, who am I kidding? A little bit further back. Okay. Also, Once I get you into your meditative state, I will cue you into Shavasana. This is what the start of Shavasana will sound like. Take a breath in. You'll know that your sound meditation has started. So we will set up into our space. You'll hear this gong of 3. You can choose to stay in Shavasana. You can take a seat of awareness as I journey through my instruments and guide you through a visualization through the rest of our practice. The other cue I will give for those of you that have ponytails in the way, get them out, throw them off to the side. I'm going to turn around so that you can see me better. Let's head on down to the floor. So, my burrito is underneath my knees, and I'm heading down to the mat. Then I take my hands and I interlace them onto the back of my head. And you're going to pick up your head as if you were picking up someone else's head. So don't lift your head up on your own. Use the hands and lightly rock your head side to side. You'll probably get a few pops and cracks out as you sway, lift. And keep rocking the head side to side. You're going to meet with the chin in towards the chest. Take a little sit up. Look down at your feet. Let them open like a book. As you breathe out, rest your head down to the mat and start with your arms overhead. Armpits are exposed. Really relaxed jaw. We'll take a yawn together. Use the breath in. Tuck of the chin in towards the chest. Press into your heels. Lift your backside off of the mat. You're going to scoop your tailbone and set yourself back down. Get any wiggles out of the way. And then hug your knees in towards your chest. Think of this as happy baby, but on your back. So knees nice and wide. Arms can reach up and overhead, or they can reach down towards your feet. May your spine start to suction cup to the floor. In ode of our spring equinox, zip your knees together to touch. We plant a seed of change. What do you wish to see today? Open thread of communication. Wrap your heart around you as we plant what we'd like to reap almost 9 months from now. What do you want to see in this world? Take a squeeze as you reflect on this chapter of your life. Press your belly up against your thighs, another tight squeeze. As you burst open, find your meditative state. This is Shavasana. Palms face up. Open mouth, exhale. as your physical body stays right here in Shavasana, you will imagine yourself standing before a very warm pool of water, a hot spring. As you see the warmth, the steam, the temperature of that heat rise from that hot spring out through this nature's crack and into the ethers. Close your eyes as you see nature's jacuzzi laying in front of you. Activate your third eye as you take a breath in. Feel the steam of this source. Take an open mouth, exhale. You are ready to submerge yourself into the water. First, your feet, as you place the soles, the toes, the ankles into this warm body of water. Feel the warmth shoot up the legs. Take a breath in. At peace, you are ready to sink a bit deeper. As you crouch into your sacred pool, you'll feel the warmth of nature's jacuzzi up the ankles, the shins, legs, fingertips, as you lower yourself a bit deeper into this warmth. Cool, sacred, mellow, slow. You feel a bit warmer, noticing that half of your body is in the warmth of this pool and half of your body is in the chill, cool air. As the wind blows past you, feel the cool on one half, the warmth from the torso down. You decide to take the plunge. You're ready to set yourself deeper into your pool. So you sink down to the knees, to the shoulders, to the chin. You are chin deep in your pool. As you exhale, take a dip. Duck dive, head down, underneath the water you go. Hold the breath. Slowly start to take your exhale and watch the bubbles start to float out of your mouth to the surface of the water. You are slowly reborn from this equinox. As you breathe in, stand up out of your sacred pool into the polar. May you feel the slow restart, reset, this equinox, as you reset your day, your perspective, a more peaceful stance, reborn, renewed for the rest of the day. Place one hand on your heart and one hand on your stomach as you lie in your meditative state. Embrace the sacred silence as you let your eyes close and notice which colors you might see before you. Switch out the palms. One hand to the belly, one hand to the heart. May you switch sides and feel the warmth and the pulse that beats underneath your hands. May you be able to take this meditative state with you as you breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. You awaken. Arms sweep overhead, wiggle your fingers and toes. Full body stretch. Hug your knees in towards the chest. Sway side to side as you reconnect. Your physical body connects to your mind, your spirit. Fetal pose as you rock onto one side of the mat. Rest one hand on the soil. We ground ourselves. Guide yourself into a seat. Legs will crisscross. You'll lean back in your stance. Make yourself comfortable. I offer Gyan Mudra. This is our quest for peace as you take your index and thumb fingers to touch and lightly rest them onto your thighs. This is like your A-OK. And then these three fingers are your past, your present, and your future. May you have faith and ground down and lean back. Empty the breath out. Inhale. Exhale. And join me for an Om in your home. Bring your hands to heart center and start by clearing the throat if you need to. You'll breathe in. Be confident in your Om. As the light and the teacher in me is so honored to guide the teacher, the light in you. On this spring equinox, we bow forward. Namaste. Thanks for joining me. How cool. I love that we are able to connect virtually. May you enjoy this video at your leisure. And when you are finished with your sacred ritual, grab your fire source, whatever it may be, a sacred ritual of breath and fire. Take an inhale. And our ritual is complete. Thank you for joining me. Take a moment to reflect, to journal, to hydrate, to share with your friends, and I will see you soon.